Okay?
Yep.
Okay, I'm Sephirin. It's one of the first videos we're going to do for Team Harlequin's YouTube channel for YuGiOh. Going to go through my scrap deck. It's working really well at the moment. I'm really enjoying playing it. I've been playing scrap for quite a long time. Recently changed the deck build a bit. It's doing really well in local hobby leagues. Hoping to take it to the nationals. Unfortunately, you can't rank off the cards in the nationals, unfortunately. But you know, never mind. What you can do. So I'm just going to go through some of the choices, talk about some of the choices I've made, some of the limitations to the deck, and just generally give my opinions. So we'll start off with some of the basics. 3 Chimera, pretty obvious, essential in all scrap decks really. I won't bother going into it. Same with Scrap Beast, 2 Beast. I run 2 Beast over 3 because I'm running 1 Orthros in the deck, which I'll come to in a minute. Don't really need any more Beasts than that really, otherwise just drawing them too often. They're not that good really in fairness, to just use them for they're a 1/6 tuner with level 4, so yeah. 2 Goblin. Most people only run 1 Goblin, I've found. I just think he's too good. If you're staring down your opponent's field like 6 Samurai or something, and you're sitting there like looking at 4 massive monsters, you go set Goblin, set that card, end. They attack into Goblin. They either have to leave it there and not attack into it, which means it gives you another turn to draw an out or find some way of getting around their monsters, or they kill it, add a Chimera back to hand, make a Scrap Dragon, watch them try and deal with it because they can't really deal with Scrap Dragon. It's pretty harsh. So I think Goblin's amazing. He does allow some late star plays with Golem as well, because Golem's level 5, so you can make into a Scrap Dragon with him as well, or any other level 8 synchro if you want. So it just gives a bit of level variation. Awesome card. 1 Orthros. Most people I've found are running at least 2 Orthros. In fact, I've seen some people running 3. I really don't agree with that. I was running 2 Orthros for a couple of weeks. I did quite like him, but I found that if you're drawing him, especially early game, he's usually pretty dead. You don't really want to be drawing him that much. At most, you want to be adding him to hand by Scrapyard when you need him. Occasionally, you're going to draw him. Sure, he's going to be really useful. You go summon my Orthros, get Chimera back to hand, normal summon the Chimera, etc., which is great. But otherwise, if you're top decking him in a bad situation, he's useless. You can't do anything with him. He's just pointless. But always a really strong card in the new set. Really good card. So I really like him at 1 at the moment. 1 Scrap Golem. Again, same with most people. Most people run 1 Scrap Golem. You don't really want him in your hand. You want him in grave. So when you scrap monsters die, so you Scrap Dragon or Scrap Twin Dragon, you get Golem out and attack with the Golem for 2/3 if you want, and main phase 2, sink into another one basically. So sink into whatever you want if you've got Beast or Goblin in grave. It's a really strong card, but you don't want to really run more than 1. It's all for scrap monsters, pretty obvious calls really. Sangan. Reason for Sangan, pretty obvious. Adds quite a few of the things to hand. Adds things like the Goblin to hand. Adds a couple of tech choices monsters that don't come out too soon. He's really good with Scrap Dragon. You set him with Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon pops it, and one of your opponent's monsters, or opponent's back cards, whatever. You kill your Sangan. You get a card out of Sangan. You kill one of the monsters. So it's +1 in terms of card advantage over your opponent, and an equal in cards overall in your own hand. So it's pretty good. That should search some of the more key cards as well. So a really strong card. Summoner Monk. Most scrap decks run this, simply because of the fact that later in game most of the spell cards are a little bit useless. Late game Scrap Storm's not particularly handy, same with Scrapyard, because usually you've got enough of the tuners engraved that you don't need any Scrapyard anymore, so you just pitch it for a Summoner Monk. Get yourself your Beast usually, because it allows you into a quick 8-star summon into a Scrap Dragon, or a Stardust, or a Thought or whatever you need. Really allows some quick first turn plays into Scrap Dragon, which the deck really struggles with getting into otherwise. Not many ways you can realistically get into a Scrap Dragon turn 1 with the Scrap Engine itself, but this allows it, so your opponent like drops a big guy on your first turn, you've still got the Beast engraved to summon out from the Scrap Dragon's death, so it's really strong card. 3 Tengu. Don't really need to explain this. Anyone that knows anything about Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment knows how powerful these guys are. They're fucking ridiculous. Yeah. You kill a Tengu with a Scrap Dragon, you get a Tengu, you summon Tengu's turn 1, it's going to stick around, regardless of what they do. Unless they've got 3 ways of killing this damn thing, it's sticking around. And next turn you can summon your Beast, or normal summon your Goblin, or whatever, and then you can synchro with it. Just all round, ridiculously good card. Pretty much every deck's running them at the moment, apart from a couple of them. Right, deck choices. 2 Granel. Some Scrap Granel. Granel's basically built for this deck. In almost every single way, he's built for scrap decks, really. He level 1, which means he's awesome synchro material for one thing, so you can synchro, and he's Earth, so you can synchro with Beast, do it into a Naturia Beast, which is a really strong card, which unless you're running Scrap Searcher in the deck, which I was until a while ago, it's really difficult to get into otherwise. You can do it, but it's pretty difficult. You can use things like Scapegoats and Mind Control and stuff, but it's still really difficult otherwise. But with this, it allows you to contribute Beast relatively easily. Generally speaking, you can drop this very early in the game, like turn 1, turn 2, maybe turn 3, by which point you've still got quite a lot of your life points left, so he's going to be a really strong guy, he's going to be a big beater. And you get nick your opponent's monsters, synchro monsters, which is really strong at the moment, especially against something like 6 Samurai, Dragoon Seas, which synchro summon a lot. So you drop it, you nick their guy, you special summon it, you synchro, you attack over them, you blow it up with Scrap Dragon, whatever you want. And because the Scrap deck's just constantly destroying its own stuff with Scrap Storm, Scrap Dragon, Orthros, you name it, all its own, all the effects, even Goblin when it's attacked when it's faced with defense position, it pops itself and you just drop the Granel from the hand, you're like, Granel, deal with this. So, really strong card. Not legal in Europe at the moment, which is incredibly irritating, which means you can't technically play it in legal tournaments. Very frustrating. So I'm having to make do with sort of like Skill at the moment. I was running Skill in the one of my tournaments lately, just to try to see how it will work. It's just nowhere near as good. It's just really disappointing. Only other monster we're particularly running Granel's place when it comes out is YuGiOh, MX Improved YuGiOh, which is arguably better, but I think Granel's just better overall personally, so I love Granel. It's amazing. Then 2 Veiler. Not really need to explain this particularly, I just think Veiler's a really strong card. The deck really struggles with RFP stuff, so if you playing against something that like has any RFP capabilities, which is a lot of decks, you need the Veiler to really save you. So if you they drop a Caius, or they drop a Chaos Sorcerer, or a Brionac, or whatever, you know, the Veiler stops it. Stops their play pushing through, so you've got Scrap Dragon sticks around and saying, you know, kill me, get the guy back, like Golem or something, or a Goblin defends, you're laughing for a turn, make another Scrap Dragon next turn pretty much, so yeah, strong card, but it's one of the tech choices, can be sided out if you need to, it's a decent side out card, so yeah. That's it for the monsters. 3 Scrapyard, pretty obvious really. I run 3 Scrapyards because of the amount of different tunes I'm running, 3 different tunes. I've got the Beast, the Orthros and the Goblin. I want to search them out at different times. Usually I want to be searching for the Beast, get that to hand quickly so I can get the Chimera going, and then like Scrap Storm it. Otherwise that's it, but it's nice to have the Orthros to hand occasionally if I need it. So 3 Scrapyard. 3 Scrap Storm, really don't need to explain that. That's pretty much stapling every single Scrap deck ever. Ridiculously powerful card, it's just amazing. Even if you've got a Chimera in grave, so you don't need to send another Chimera to grave, you just send a Golem to grave, and then add a Chimera back to hand with like your Scrap Beast or Scrap Golem's effect or whatever. You can chain it to the destruction of Scrap Orthros, so if you've got no targets in graveyard for Scrap Orthros when it kills itself, you have now. It's just an all-round strong card. Fantastic card. Oh, one other thing about Scrap Storm. Works really well with Granel. You can choose when Granel enters, or what chain Granel enters within the chain that this card creates. If it enters, I don't know if I get this right, but if you enter Chain Link 1, it's not negatable, like by Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgment. And if you enter Chain Link 2, or vice versa, you can't torrential at bonds or anything. So it's again really strong card with Granel, so works well. 2 MST. The deck really suffers against things like Macro Cosmos, Dimensional Prison, Dimensional Fissure. Necro Valley is a massive problem for the deck, so it needs to be able to deal with those. MST allows that. Pretty much stapling every deck, really. I don't need to explain it too much. It's really good because it allows you to chain it with Scrap Dragon. So if you've got your set card, you've got your Scrap Dragon field, you pop your MST in their guy, you chain your MST to kill another guy. You know, it's a +1, so you can't complain about that. It's always good. Pluses are amazing. Book of Moon, pretty obvious again, you can chain it, Scrap Dragon's effect, really useful. Dark Hole, again, staple, even if you pop your own guys, you can drop the Granel on it being dropped, so really strong card. Reborn, again, don't really say too much about that, it's Reborn, everyone runs it. Scapegoat, I wasn't running Scapegoat until too long ago, I'm still not sure whether I like it or not. Reason being is because not being able to summon the turn you play it can be a real ball ache sometimes. You've got to set it and basically using your opponent's end phase, and even then it's not that amazing because you fill your space stuff up, so you can't even go into Chimera and get a beast and the 8-star or 9-star or whatever with them. And then below on top, he's got an effect ship, 6 monsters, so yeah, I'm still unsure about the Scapegoat, to be honest with you. It's still in testing. Really good card. I mean, they are Earth, so you can synchro summon into Beast or Barkion, which is really strong play, and again, relatively difficult in the deck, other than by doing this or Granel or something. So Scapegoat allows that. Foolish Burial, it's really only in there to target Golem. You want to be foolish burying Golem every single time, as long as Golem really is still in the deck. If he's not, you can send something like a Beast or a Goblin or an Orthros or something that you don't want to end up in your hand. You want it Graves just to get out with Chimera again. So otherwise, you discard it for something like Summon Monk. Grenade allows you to make your big pushes. Needs it in this deck really, especially gets around things like Bottomless and Dimensional Prism, which can be really tough for this deck to come over RFPs. Not this deck's friend at all. Mind Control, pretty obvious in a deck that runs this many tuners. Just nick their stuff, blow it up with your own Scrap Dragon if you need to. You can synchro with it, whatever. Really good card. It's pretty much staple in this deck in my opinion. Trap cards. Solemn Warning. Again, staple in pretty much every deck that can run them. I know they're relatively expensive, some people can't afford them, but we've managed to get a few for the team, so really strong card. Every deck runs them. Call the Haunted. Underrated card in my opinion. I think Call the Haunted is a lot stronger than people give it credit for sometimes. Really good in this deck especially, because you can Call the Haunted out your own Golem. You can use Golem's effect, especially something like a Beast or something. 9-star Synchro Summon to like a Scrap Twin Dragon. And then you can pop your own Call the Haunted, because it's still sticking around, because it hasn't gone away, because you've Synchro Summon with the monster it brought out. So it's a free card, a completely free card. It gives you a plus, so it's really good in the Scrap deck in my opinion. Torrential Tribute, again, pretty much staple in every deck, same as Dark Hole, and the fact that you can pop your own guys with it and get Granel's effect going off, which is nice, obviously. Then the main trap card of the deck, True Royal Decree. I've been going back and forth between Decree builds and not, because Decree can be a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes. It stops things like your Solemn Warnings and your Torrentials from working properly, which is obviously really important, but at the end of the day, it's Decree, it stops the Dimensional Prison, it stops the Bottomless Trap Holes, it stops their own Solemn Warnings, which is really important. Allows you to get your Scrap Dragon on the field. Once your Scrap Dragon's on the field and just sitting there destroying a card every turn, you pretty much won after that point. Your opponent can't really do much about it. Even in effect fail, it's not going to do too much about it, because it's still a 2/8 beat stick. Which when you kill it you get something out for free, so I really like Royal Decree in the build. It's wavering, but we'll see. I'm quite happy with them for the time being there. And last card, 1/7 the Bandit. Seems a little bit counterintuitive with the Decrees in the deck, simply because of the fact that obviously why would you need to get trapped. Main reason is to push through big synchro plays if I haven't got my Royal Decree already out, if this is already not out still, I've got the 7 tools to back it up. And if I decide to activate Royal Decree and they try to 7 tools it, for example, or Solemn Judgment it, 7 tools is there to save it. Because once this hits the field, I've pretty much got full reign of the game. There's not much they can do about it, except maybe like an effect failure or something. That's it. So 7 tools let this live, basically, which is quite powerful in my opinion. So, but again, it's a tech choice. It's easy to decide out if needs be. I've also got a bit of a transitional traps as well in the side deck, so I can side out the Royal Decrees, siding some more traps, etc. If I find my opponent's not really running that many traps, run some more defensive traps of my own, etc. That's the main deck.